Anything in this life that could be taken away from you can't ever truly make you happy. And by the word happy, I don't mean like a quick, momentary, excited sort of happy feeling. I mean true, long-lasting satisfaction in life. This sort of permanent happiness that you can find. You can't ever find this in anything that's external. Anything that you can acquire and that could then be taken away from you can never ever bring you true, long-lasting satisfaction or fulfillment in life, other people included. The reason being is because at any point in time, other people that come into your life they have the ability to leave your life at any point. You can't control whether they come, whether they go. So how can something that's fleeting like that make you happy? And this isn't meant to get you, for you to be paranoid and fearful all the time that all people are going to just leave you. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that people have the ability to stay in your life as long as they want to, and then they can leave at any point in time, particularly in relationships. I believe that most people think they're going to find true fulfillment or true happiness in some sort of relationship, and it just never happens. It can never work like that. Because think about it. When you get into a relationship, you might feel this illusion of happiness. You might feel what you think is very happy. I'm very happy in this relationship. And then all of a sudden, this person decides that maybe they want to leave, or maybe their feelings towards you change, or whatever the case may be. And then in an absolute instance, everything is different. You no longer feel that happy feeling. In fact, you probably feel lower than you ever did or have in a very long time. So it's important to understand that anything that's fleeting in that sense, anything that's coming and going, whether it's relationships, whether it's a job, whether it's, material possessions, anything that could somehow be taken away from you will never truly be the answer to the happiness or the fulfillment that you're looking for. And this is something that society still falls for. It's a bit of a trap, I guess you could say. It's just the way that we're conditioned. So you might look at sort of the average Joe, kind of normal everyday person, as the spiritual masters would call the worldly man. You might meet a guy like this and, there's nothing wrong with him per se. He's just an average guy. And he might say, oh, I'm so happy. I have a beautiful wife and I have kids and I have a big house and a great job. And you start to wonder to yourself, is that truly making you happy though? Or is it just presenting the illusion of happiness? Just think about it. At any point in time, your wife can leave you. Your house can get repossessed. You can lose your job. Your kids can grow up and decide, I no longer want to talk to you. Again, not the point is not to live in fear and think that these things are going to happen. They probably won't. But the point is that they can. And if something has the ability to leave your life in the blink of an eye, how can that be true happiness and true satisfaction? So really think about that. It can't be. It can't be. It's simply an illusion. True happiness is only ever found by being content with the stillness of the present moment, no matter what is happening externally. This is why many of the enlightened beings lived very simple, minimal lifestyles with very little possessions, very few relationships. And they were probably happier than anybody else. They were probably happier than the rich person or the person who had a lot of fame and status. In my opinion, this is actually how you this is the path to being truly content, is in less and not more. Now, obviously, you should cherish the good relationships that you have. You should cherish the possessions, the job that you have. This isn't necessarily the path for everybody to become some sort of minimalist who lives out in the woods. You don't have to do that. But what you have to do is it's really about gratitude. It's really about being content with everything that you do have in this moment already. You can make a conscious decision to be happy right now if you really wanted to. That's sort of what the practice of meditation does. It helps you to condition your mind to be content in this moment only and to not want or need anything extra. It's important to remember that this is why relationships and other people can't truly make you happy, and this is why getting too unhealthily attached to other people is a really bad road to go down. And you have to be very aware of when this happens. Because think about it, people can change their feelings towards you at any point in time. They could decide that they no longer like you, they no longer want to be your friend, or whatever the case may be. So how are you what are you supposed to do? Just constantly change to fit the mold of what other people want from you? That doesn't make any sense. That's not going to work. You have to be truly content and satisfied in your own being with who you are. It's the only way. It's the only option. It might sound cliche, but there's nothing else you can do. You can't just play some role for every single person that comes into your life just to make sure that they stay in your life and then call it happiness. This is what a lot of people do. That's not how it works. It's ridiculous. I'm going to walk a little bit. To truly be happy is really to need nothing from the world. I mean, that's really it. Now, obviously, within reason, this is not something that everybody's going to be able to do, but we all need something. We all need, to survive, of course. But past our survival skills and our basic needs, everything else is just a sort of a bonus. You have to kind of look at it that way and not become too attached to it. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy the finer things in life. I definitely do, or enjoy good relationships, or enjoy the people that come into your life. Enjoy it while it comes, of course. You don't have to be some weird hermit who lives out in the woods. But understand, nothing like that really ever lasts forever. Any sort of relationship you build, there's always a chance that it can come to an end at some point. And you have to remember that. Again, not to live in fear that all your relationships are going to end, but to really cherish it, enjoy it while you have it, to be good to the people that are in your life, to be good to your family members. You never know. People can die, Anything could happen at any point in time. And then, just because you lost one person, does that mean you have to live the rest of your entire life in misery? Now, if you lose a child, for example, or a very close, immediate family member, that's a hard loss to deal with. And I'm not saying that won't be difficult, but I'm talking more in the sense of, I guess, relationships or what we think is love. If you're, one day your spouse or your significant other, whoever, decides to leave, are you just never going to be able to live a fulfilling life ever again because this one person who you put all of your attachment to decides to leave, and now this is it? It's over for you. You can never find happiness, true happiness, ever again. I think the reason this happens is because most people have never really found real fulfillment or real satisfaction, or have really built a life that makes them happy, that makes them feel happy by some greater purpose, or doing something that really, that they feel really called to do, or just simply learning to enjoy whatever comes. But whatever the case is, when somebody comes into our lives, we get so overly attached to them because this is like, finally, we got this little breath of fresh air, this person that really understands us, and, just sort of all the illusions surrounding love. I've talked about it before. But the point is, you can't mistake this for permanent true happiness. That's just not how it works. True happiness, not momentary excitement. True happiness can never be found in the world. I've said this a million times. It cannot be found in anything outside of yourself. You have to learn to become truly content with this moment, with your own awareness, your own consciousness. Learning to become truly content with every breath that you take in this moment. Because that's all it really is. Your mind is probably still conditioned to believe that the future is going to make you happy, or I had this one point in the past that made me feel so happy. It's not real. It's simply just your mind. It's concepts in your head. And I think this is what sort of most people, or not most, but many people are. This is how many people are living. We're so conditioned to be living in the past and the future that we can't even truly learn to be content with this moment. The only thing that we actually have. It's just something to think about. Love is very, relationships with other people are very conditional. You have to understand, that's just the hard truth. It sounds pessimistic, but it's never unconditional love. Unconditional love only comes from your parents, and sometimes not even. The love that you get from a relationship is conditional. It's usually transactional. There's something there that they want from you. There's something that two people want from each other in some way. And although that's not necessarily a bad thing, it could be a noble relationship. It could mean well, but at the end of the day, that's just how relationships are going to work. That's how they're designed to work. It's a biological thing that where we're just for our reproduction or survival or our comfort or something like that, but it's never unconditional. And that's why it's important to remember that something that's not unconditional can't ever truly fulfill you. You have to learn to have unconditional love for yourself for this moment.